Hey, it's Soul with another video, and we're just gonna get right into it. Just earlier today, EU Guild Echo blousted Sylvanas Windrunner into like half oblivion, scoring a world first over US Guild Limit. So this is one part celebration of a very skilled team and it's one part relief that there's also less drama to talk about. You see, this is because if Echo was not able to down Sylvanas during this week, Limit would have an undeniable advantage of farming up another week's worth of gear, maybe even a few splits, before taking on Sylvanas once again. And believe me, like, Limit was really close. It would have been another huge US versus EU controversy with blame all over the place, especially towards Blizzard, and that's what we're going to discuss for the next couple of minutes. According to fans, Blizzard has an opportunity to solidify the race to World First as an event with a, quote, global release, launching the Mythic version of a raid simultaneously worldwide, and then maybe even having maintenances and resets also align in the interest of fairness. Of course, many fans, some who are even the same people, are also like, hey, Blizzard, stay out of our race, you're gonna ruin it, and also stop making the game for the 1% of players. Now, there are reasons why Blizzard hasn't done this, most of which they haven't really shared in great detail. I, like all of you, am just an outside observer, so I can only speculate what those challenges are. Now, WoW does have a global release of their content, namely the launch of expansions, as well as WoW Classic and TBC Classic. But I see those as exceptions to the rule, with all hands on deck globally to ensure a smooth launch. It's questionable if Blizzard is also willing to align themselves globally throughout every region for the sake of the race to World First, an event that affects a large number of spectators but a tiny amount of players. There's a distinction there. It would make more sense, but it would be an even tougher sell to get Blizzard to globally align their maintenance schedule and resets on a permanent basis, not just World First. 8 a.m. over in Blizzard HQ is what, like 4 p.m. or so over in Europe, and 12 a.m. the next day somewhere in Asia. Downtime in one region will affect it differently in another region. It wouldn't just piss off Blizzard staff that has to adjust their schedules, it would just piss a lot of people off generally because of their playtime schedules. But I also don't think this would be the end of the world either. Like, if this was the way WoW was always operated, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Over on stream, I mentioned two ideas that I want to share with you for the purpose of just starting discussion, getting you to think of your own ideas, that sort of thing, because I think that's fun. Idea one is something that I've talked about just recently, so I'm kind of just reiterating, and that's to have the community come together to create its own sort of a race to World First league. After all, the race itself started as a community event run by individual guilds and organizations. If it's going to go to like the next level, then these orgs could come together to create like a kind of governing party that regulates the participating teams through mutual agreement. They can agree to a start time in the week with respect to EU guilds and agree to an end time in the week with regards to US guilds. They could even do they can do all sorts of stuff. They could sign a pact to not do split runs. They can limit their total raid times per day to avoid burnout. They can promote talented but smaller guilds with co-streaming and commentary and whatever else that they can think of. And this governing party could look at private logs to ensure that, say, I don't know, if they agree to not use any shards of domination set bonuses, they can monitor that and verify the integrity of the race. So it sounds hokey, right? But if top guilds do take this seriously, so will others who want to be part of this club. Of course, I think this is really difficult to pull off, but with the right motivation and the backing, I think this can work. The players can continue to own the race, and Blizzard doesn't have to lift a finger. Regular players aren't going to be affected in the slightest either, and viewers have one less thing to complain over. The other idea is more of something that Blizzard can do, so you're gonna like this one more. It lets you put responsibility, aka blame, on them. Earlier I mentioned that Blizzard does do global releases, and that it's more the exception than the rule, but let's consider what's actually happening here. There's a maintenance period that happens at the usual time, but it happens like weeks beforehand, and then there's the big global release on that Tuesday. So let's do that. Let's have maintenances throughout all regions move from their current days to kind of a different day, let's say like Monday, but they still happen at their usual time, which is like 6 or 7 a.m. in your local time. And then on Tuesday, everyone resets simultaneously. So 8 a.m. over in Blizzard land and 4 p.m. over on Europe side. And this can give Blizzard folk around the world a still kind of normal work schedule, though it's going to be like a little bit tighter and more compressed, but hey, yay, we can get this global reset and global release. Now, there are challenges introduced here too, like maintenances aren't going to be perfectly aligned, so there's going to be instances where regional restarts will affect one region before another. And that's going to mean hotfixes related to restarts aren't going to match up perfectly either. It also means that in the context of the Race to World First, there would still be a bit of an unalignment. Like guild number 1 is going to hit maintenance first, and they're going to have downtime, while guild number 2 can keep going and maybe even win. But if Guild 2 doesn't win, that's going to mean Guild 1 will probably emulate what Guild 2 did during their downtime to make up for lost time, giving them, I guess, a little bit more of a stamina advantage, if not time. I would pitch for Blizzard to also align their maintenance schedule too, but then we're back at square one. For reasons, Blizzard just isn't interested in that idea, or maybe they've discussed it and it turns out, we can't really make that work. But that's the best idea that I can come up with in the interest of fairness. It at least solves the problem of one region having their resets earlier than another for an impossible advantage during that time period. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on the matter, so feel free to leave a comment and like the video and come back soon. Until next time though, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.